to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. It's Power Talk Friday. Today, we are going to talk about upleveling. Upleveling to new, different, better, bigger, whatever kind of projects that you've got your eye on and are currently not doing because you don't quite have the experience yet, the opportunity hasn't come up yet, or you're just a little concerned about, are you ready to go after? Right? This is a big thing. I talk with a lot of you on a regular basis, and even in my own experience, when you've got your eyes set on that next level, what does it look like and how do you do it, right? Now, before I pick this apart for you, I want to call attention to the Power Talk Friday tour that is happening October 21st, 2022 in High Point, North Carolina. This particular Power Talk Friday tour is specifically for firms, design firms, window treatment firms that are doing $2 million plus and above in gross revenue. And like my friend Tracy Connell, who you will remember was one of my chairman of the board clients for a year, she was on the podcast. She is an instructor at LuAnn University, and she is now also the creator of her own brand new year-long coaching program called The Confidential. She's a heck of a busy, smart lady, I have to tell you. She always says, I'm more concerned with how much net profit I earn in a year, Lou, than the top revenue number. And she's 100% right. You know, Vincenzo always says something similar. He says, if you make $1 million, but it costs you $1,001 to run your business, you know, you're not really impressing me, right? Because he means you're not managing your numbers. Right? That's what he's saying to you in that minute right there. So at High Point, at this particular Power Talk Friday, we are going to work with multiple $1 million firms on things exactly like that. Monitoring and improving your profitability, comparing your employee compensation packages, defining and comparing your markup margins, your profit margins, establishing benchmark numbers for marketing and owners' compensation packages, and more. So to learn more about Power Talk Friday, go to powertalkfriday.com. Early bird registration closes July 1st. That's just around the corner. I think it's 1 week from today or something like that. All right. So how do you make sure you're earning the maximum profits regardless of the top number? I'll tell you, you get in a room with people at your level. You share how you do what you do, and they share how they do what they do. You get an aha, they get an aha. And by the end of the day, you've learned powerful things about yourself, about your business, and you've experienced a transformation unlike any other. This is what the Power Talk Friday tour is. It's one full day in person. 8:30 in the morning to 11 p.m. So you'll need to fly in on Thursday night, and you'll need to be well rested and ready to work on Friday. The whole day with me, the Vin Man, and Eileen Hahn, and business owners like you who want to do what they are doing only better, more effectively, more profitably, and with more happiness and more confidence. All right? This is limited to 20 attendees. Okay, don't miss it. We've got the registration open early so you can make all your plans to get into High Point on Thursday. Go to powertalkfriday.com. And if you want to learn more about Tracy Connell's new coaching program, who will, by the way, be one of those multi-million-dollar designers at the Power Talk Friday tour in October, head over to her free Facebook group called The Gloss, which is short for the glossary, as in the glossary for your business. Okay? All right, now, let's talk about how do you get the next kind of project on your goal list when you don't have any experience in doing that type of project yet. right? It's human nature pretty much to strive for the next thing, the next opportunity. And it is especially the nature of most of us entrepreneurs, I'd argue, right? This is irrelevant of whether we are and always will be a solo business owner, or if we have already or intend to grow a larger company. Our experience grows and we want to grow again. Maybe you want to serve the next level luxury client. Maybe you want to break into design for construction. Maybe you want to leap from residential to commercial. Whatever it is, you got your goal. You got your eyes set on it. I'll bet you do, right? Recently, I was talking with one of my chairman of the board clients, and she was asking me the very same thing. She said, I had the chance to do this great new dream project, but what can I do to make sure it's successful, particularly if I don't quite have the actual experience in it yet? Well, by definition, the first time we get the chance to do a new type of project, we are going to have to execute it without the experience of having done it before, right? But does that mean it's smart to wing it? No, it does not, right? So should you ever say yes when you know it's above your head? Yes, you can. I've put my hand up 1,000 times in this case, right? Of course you can, as long as you have some things in place. Let's review some of the key things that you need to have in place in order to be able to do a new type of project with as little stress as possible, okay? Number one, you get a gold star if you can guess it before I even say it. You have to have documented process and systems in place. You do. You just do. Stepping up or across to different projects is much more manageable if you know how you do things and they are documented. Why? Because you can onboard an assistant or hire a VA quickly and easily if they're documented, right? You can sleep easier at night, even with a big new challenge on your plate, when you know you have backups and cross-checks that have been built into your process and systems. And if your process and systems are in your head, you don't have built-in backups and cross-checks like you have just the thoughts that wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's your backup, right? Not a good place. Not when you're up leveling, okay? And if you haven't documented your systems yet, when is the best time to document them? Here it is. Yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Joking, not joking, right? Do it now so that you are ready later when the opportunities come along. Okay, so that's number one. You have to have documented process and systems. Number two, if you know how to create an accurate proposal, then you probably can jump off this bridge to a new level project, right? So knowing how to create an accurate proposal is the second criteria. Think about it for a moment. How could you know how to estimate a timeline and a rate for something you've never done before? The answer? By being the kind of business owner who tracks the data of all your current projects. If you intend to grow your projects, their complexity, their quality, their scope beyond whatever kind you are doing now, you need to be collecting information now on the projects you are doing. Not someday, not when I have time, not when I'm in the mood, not I promise this year between Christmas and New Year's I'm going to work on my business every day. I know the things you say to yourself. I say the same things. Come on, we're all human, right? So, and I have to say, this reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, I did a show on my other podcast, Window Treatment for Profit, called The Lies You Tell Yourself That Cripple Your Business. So if you are actively telling yourself any of these kind of white lies, like I'll do it next week, next month, or between Christmas and New Year's, then you probably should listen to this show after this one, okay? Now, you see, the information that you collect about how long it takes you to do things, the profit margins on different types of projects, all of the things that you are doing now will inform and help you calculate that next level project, okay? So it's looking at what's happening and being able to analyze that data All right. And you know, this reminds me too of Kate Rasmussen of Weissman Architecture. She was on the podcast back in the fall of 2021, and she talked about this very thing, successfully taking on new projects with a different scope than what you've done before. Right? She explained how her team uses data, from completed projects, the hours, the timelines, the man and woman power, the cost of goods, all the things that go into a project, so that when the next bigger or slightly different project comes along, they're not like banging out in the dark trying to figure out how they should put this new proposal together, right? You see, there's no magic wand to know, but you can make a very educated proposal if you are basing it on the hard facts of your business. All right. So definitely check out that show for more detail on how she does it in her firm and inspiration on how she manages this with her team. We know that getting the estimate right is crucial. You may be challenged doing a project with the new scope in many ways. And you also, at the same time, right, could be pretty confident and are pretty sure that you'll rise up to it. I'm all for that. Yay, yay, yay. But if you've done that and you've priced it wrong, if the profit margins are wrong, then you will have literally gone through what could possibly have been a stressful experience because of the many windy roads for a big fat zero. Okay, that's an expensive lesson. And yes, many of us, most of us have been there at least one time in our life. Believe me, okay? But you don't have to be there if you are proactive and you collect your data and you are making solid decisions, right? It brings me back to my conversation with virtual CFO Kimberly Merlitti. Kim is a co-author in my third book, The Power Talk Friday Experts, Volume 2. She is an instructor at LU University, and she is a very strong proponent of building a detailed, accurate estimate before you sign a contract. She emphasizes that with time tracking and this data, you can create a clearer picture of project costs. She recommends breaking down every project piece by piece, room by room, until you have the entire estimate scoped out. This information comes from the data that you have collected on your previous and current projects. You know, I always tell you that you should do the autopsy. So if you are doing the autopsy, then you have this information collected. All right. And this is where you're going to go when you have the opportunity for a new or a bigger or a different type of project. The project might not be exactly the same, but you should have enough data that you can make a great educated guess to what this new type a project could look like, right? And I know it sounds tedious to not only review and capture this data for every project and also to estimate each new project in the detail that Kim recommends, but I also know that this is exactly what profitable firms do. It is absolutely imperative for a business to capture data if your business wants to be healthy, right? Because it's this data that enables you to set benchmarks, goals, and your fees. All right. So the critical takeaway is that our data shows us where we've been so we can map out where we want to go. All right. Now, what happens when the new opportunity is completely new, meaning you have no data to look back on? Nothing is going to correlate. Not one single thing is going to inform. Okay. This is where you, like in Kate's position, she's got a big firm. So she looks to her staff and she says, hey, in your past experience, blah, blah, blah. But the other example that she used, and it's the one that I love, is you look out to your peers, the colleagues that you've created by meeting them at live events, at Power Talk Friday, at, LuAnn Live, at High Point Market, at Las Vegas Market. Think about the people that you've met and reach out and ask someone. So what Kate mentioned was that you can ask somebody that does exactly the type of work that you are proposing to do, right? That you want to bid to do. But reach out to somebody that's in a different market from you, because this removes the fear that you're both going after the same project, right? An example is if you have your first shot at working with a luxury builder in your area, but you have no idea really what your proposal should include or what benchmarks you need in your pricing, ask a colleague. All right. And I want to say something here. I love the Facebook groups. I love them, and how you support each other. But asking a detailed question like this in a Facebook group is like, I don't know. I'm just going to call it. It's complete insanity. Like, really, you know, you I don't think you're going to get quality information. How can somebody, what are they going to, hi, I've got a project to do a new design build in my area. I've never done one before. Anybody, have some advice? Like, that's insanity. You need real life conversation with somebody. Okay. You say in a Facebook group, I just gave a proposal and the person said this. Anybody have advice for a comeback? Or the builder is asking for this additional information in a proposal. Do you do it or should I give it? But how do I do the whole thing? That's a little crazy pants, isn't it? I mean, I'm just saying. So, but if you're building your relationships while you're building your business, then you probably have a network of fellow designers that are out there and that are willing to help you. Okay. The industry has come a long way in sharing. Okay. I see it in my Power Talk Friday tours. I see it in LuAnn University. I see it firsthand. So I know that people are sharing, but you have to be out there. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to be a sharer. And I will mention some of these Facebook groups that are outstanding for sharing and camaraderie and teaching and all of the things. Veronica Solomon's Facebook group, Cheryl Clennonden's Facebook group, Nancy Ganskaufer's Facebook group, Claire Jeffords' Facebook group. I mean, these are just a few of them off the top of my head. So definitely join these Facebook groups, okay, where you can ask questions, get answers, advice, encouragement, and buzz about what's happening in the industry. And also, don't forget, we have IDS, Interior Design Society, where you can, be side by side in chapter meetings, or, we've got the conference coming up in August 4th, 5th, and 6th in Chicago. I'm keynoting. I hope you'll come. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to be in person again with humans like you. Okay. So, but IDS is an excellent resource for peers, colleagues, mentors, all of the things. Okay. So this is a very viable way also that if an opportunity comes along for you to up-level your business. And I would say the other two pieces of advice I gave you, which is to document your systems and processes and collect your data so that you know how to create a accurate proposal. Those are the things that you are going to do to be prepared. Okay. But this other tactic of reaching out to a colleague is if the opportunity comes and you haven't been prepared and you really think you might have the chops to do it and you want to take the shot at it, but asking a colleague, can I, grab you on Zoom for a half hour, 45 minutes? Can I meet you for coffee? Whatever like that. So I can pick apart some questions. That's gold, right? So, all right. I just have to say I'm a big believer in the value of creating meaningful relationships, right? We hear it on the podcast all the time, our colleagues talking about how opportunities come along because of it. And I know I experience that in my life. I love having my go-to partners that I work with, and I love being the go-to for some of you, right? There's just like the riches are in there. That's all I can tell you. Okay. So breaking into new projects will require you to tap into that mindset that you probably engaged in when you first launched your business. Recall your open-mindedness, your hunger to learn, your willingness to ask for help. Okay. You're going to need those again when you up level, because every level is a whole different game. It's a whole different animal, and it, could knock you right back on your butt if you're not open and willing and, just looking around and trying to figure out what you don't know. Okay. But it is possible. Okay. It is 100% possible. So as you work your business, always be gathering and recording the data. Always be building your network of professional colleagues and friends. give help, ask for help. Have the courage to step out of your box when the opportunity comes, because if you have done these things, you can accomplish that next level project. You can do what you dream for yourself that you want to do. I know it. Okay? All right. Thank you tons for joining me today. Please check the show notes for all of the links and the other episodes I mentioned. We'll definitely put it there. And I just want to say, have a great day. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Nigara, Inc. If you'd like to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNigara.com. And if you want to learn more about exciting windows where you can get education and resources to build a better window treatment business, go to excitingwindows.biz. Have an excellent day.